Welcome back to my channel, Simplified English 101. If you are new to this channel, please remember, like this video, leave a comment. Do not forget to subscribe to my channel and ring that good old notification bell so that you can be informed when a new video is posted. In today's lesson, we are going to be looking at the reflection one for your English Language SBAs. If you are new to my channel, please remember to check out my previous videos where I looked at how to select your themes and your sub-themes for your group, how to select and find the different sources or artifacts that you do need to do your SBA, as well as how to write your plan of investigation. If you're having trouble with your SBAs, do not forget that you can get a copy of this text. It is entitled English Language and Literature SBA, a student's guide to receiving grade 1. This can be found on all Amazon platforms, and it is extremely cost-friendly. Now, let us look at the objectives that will guide today's lesson. The objectives are: 1, you are going to be looking at the term reflection, or what it means to reflect overall. You're going to be looking at the criteria for writing your reflection 1, as well as the outline that you do need for your reflection 1, step-by-step outline. And finally, you are going to be writing your own paragraphs for your reflection 1 based on the model that I have created. Now, the question is, what does it mean to reflect? The word reflection, or to reflect, means basically to look back. It includes you exploring and examining your interactions, your point of view, your personality, experiences, and even your thoughts and feelings. When we reflect as individuals, it actually helps us to gain more insight into who we are, the reasons why we are the way we are, and it forces us to be honest and considerate, to be critical and at the same time analytical, to be unbiased, even when the truth is painful. For your English Language SBA, you are required to do a few things. 1, you are going to be doing 3 reflections. These reflections will include, of course, your reflection 1, which we are discussing today, and this focuses on how the piece, the different artifacts that you have selected, how they have impacted you or how they have affected you. Your second reflection will focus on the use of language. Now that we will get into another video. This is where you look at how the author or artist used language in their piece to present the information or thematic concerns presented to you. And finally, you are going to look at your reflection 3, which focuses on what you have learned overall. Your reflective writing for this particular SBA should never be done in the third person. Rather, it should be written in the first person, using the first person pronouns. Words like I, me, my, we, etc. You know them, those pronouns. Do not use they and she and the researcher believe that. No, it's a reflective piece and it should be seen as personal. Secondly, your reflective writing for this SBA is not a descriptive piece. It should not be based on description only. Rather, it includes you critically analyzing your experiences, you stating how the artifacts that you have selected, how they have impacted you, whether in thought, in action, or in speech. And as a student, what did you learn and what do you plan to do with the new information that you have learned? Remember, a reflective piece is supposed to make you want to make changes or look back. A reflective piece in this SBA is not a structured one. There is no set rule that this sentence comes first and this comes second, etc. No, your reflective piece, however, has a certain characteristics that you must use. And these we are going to go into later on. Finally, the reflective writing for this SBA, it is not objective, meaning it's not based on facts and statistics and none of that. It is reflective, it is personal, and so it is based on your personal opinions, your personal interpretation, your point of view, your emotions and feelings and judgment, As such, this reflective piece is seen as subjective. Let's continue. There are a few steps that I want you to think about when doing your reflection 1. These are: 1. You are going to be describing or summarizing what you are reflecting on. So you will have 3 artifacts. Let's say you have an article, which is a requirement, that is a must, a song and a poem. You are going to be reflecting on or describing or summarizing what the song is about. What did you read? What did you see? What did you hear? Or what others have said about the piece. Then you are going to be interpreting the important aspects of this artifact or these artifacts. You are going to be looking at what it means to you. What did you get from it? You are going to explain its impact on you and why you believe it impacted you so much. There is nothing wrong with comparing or describing others' viewpoints when you are doing your reflection 1. And finally, you should try to state the actions that you will take from what you have learned. Remember again, it is a reflection. The aim of it is to look back and to at least learn a lesson or to gain some kind of new knowledge from this. Now, just as a reminder, I want to let you know that you must get a copy of the English Language and Literature SBA guide. I am promoting this book. I wrote this book specifically for students because I am aware that there are many students who have trouble with the SBA. There are teachers who have trouble with the SBA as well. This book will assist you. I promise you, it is laced with examples. It is laced with examples of how to write each paragraph and words and special phrases that you can use when you do feel like you are stuck. And I know there are times when you do feel that way. Let's look at the outline that you will be using for each paragraph of your reflection 1. Now, there are simple steps to follow. Remember that your reflection 1 should comprise of 150 words and no more. And of course, it should be written in continuous prose. Now, 150 words, 3 artifacts. This is how I divide it. 50 words per artifact gives you 150. So watch the way you write or type in this case. 3 to 4 sentences should really give you 150 words. So once you exceed 6 sentences, you know that you are way past the word limit. Your first sentence or first 2 sentences should either describe or summarize the piece that you're using. Now, why do I say describe? Describe because you could be using a photograph. Sometimes a photograph has no word and you want to be able to state what it is saying. Basically, you will look at the photograph, look at the pictures, the words, the image, how it is set up, and you will basically tell what you see or get or understand from the image. This is you describing it. On the other hand, if it is a poem, a song, or any other written piece with words, then you can summarize what has been stated. So that's your first 2 sentences. Once you have done that, then you can now move on to your 3rd or 4th sentences. In these sentences, you are going to state how you felt before reading the piece, analyzing the photo, listening to the song. You can also decide to state whatever prior knowledge you have about your topic. Remember, you are not going into this SBA clueless. Some of you have your different opinions about your sub-themes that you're doing, and as such, this is seen as your prior knowledge. This can be done by saying, before reading the article, before listening to the song, or I always knew that. These are just some examples of how this can be done, and there are many, many other examples in this book that I am telling you about. Now, once you have your 3rd or 4th, let's say your 3rd sentences, you're going to do your last 1 to 2 sentences. So your last 1 to 2 sentences, your last 2 sentences should now explain how you felt after reading. You read the article, you listened to the song, you examined the picture. How does it make you feel? What do you think about? Are you angry? Are you annoyed? Are you upset? Are you puzzled? Now, this is where you are going to be using your description, your use of adjectives, to tell how the piece impacted you. It was mind-boggling to me. I was left in awe. I was surprised. I was shocked to find out that this happened in society. Now, while you state how it impacted you, Think about the changes that might occur in your thought, your speech, or your action. Feel free to include any personal information or experiences that you might have had with this particular topic. Also, you can mention any new information that you have gained. Now that we've looked at what we're going to do for our reflection one, let us look at a sample of different artifacts. Please note that I have cited where each artifact is from, the author's name for each, as well as the date and the website that it can be found. So you can just go ahead, check them out, and you can find other artifacts there that can be used for your SBAs. We're going to be reflecting on an image. Many students find it difficult. All they see is a picture. What do I do? The first thing I tell my students to do is to examine the image. Look for any words. Look for any images or items that might be seen as symbolic. Look for any colors that you see. Now, in this particular image, which is a beautiful picture, it shows a reflection of one person, yet two different thematic concerns. The first image, the one that he's sitting on the stool, we see he's wearing this clown hat with the word dunce on it. There is this pile of money behind his hand. Obviously, that's the backdoor deal. And then in the mirror, we see the reflection of him with his graduation hat on, and we see him with his certificate. Now, this speaks a lot to the sub-theme that is being done. And again, if you missed my previous video, you will find out that in the plan of investigation, the particular theme that I am examining is corruption within the education system in Jamaica. So the pieces that you will see will be a recurrence of that theme. Now, let us just remind ourselves, what did I say you should do when you're doing your paragraphs? First two sentences or first sentence, describe or summarize. We're going to describe this image. Now I've color-coded the paragraph for you based on the instruction. Notice that the first two sentences actually describes the image. The image depicts the norm within the educational system where corruption is concerned. It shows us that one who is affluent can easily buy themselves an education despite being a known dunce. You could also, in your own words, if you so desire, say the image shows a young boy or a man or an older man, and you tell exactly what you see. So that's another way to do it. Now, the next step is to state what you know or felt about the topic before reading it. It is highlighted in red and it says, though I am aware that this exists in society, the image reminded me that corruption is an indispensable means for getting ahead in education, especially within Jamaica. Now, the last thing that we're supposed to do is to state how the piece made you feel. Now, notice too that I have mentioned the artist's name. Glazed picture not only solidified my sub-theme, but shows how a corrupt educational system puts poor students at a disadvantage and reduces their access to a fair chance to an education. This very thought angered me. Notice that I stated, how it made me feel, what I learned from it, how it impacted me. So this is how we reflect on an image. Let us look at how we reflect on an article. Of course, I've cited where I've collected my pieces from. Now this piece is from the Gleaner, dated October 9th, 2000. The author's name is there as well as the title of the piece. Now again, I'm reminding you, describe or summarize. Now this isn't a picture, so we won't be describing. Instead, we will be summarizing the article. And again, the piece is color-coded just for you. Now after you've read the article, and it's the entire article and the part of the article. In this case, it is a part of the article, but students, you are expected to copy the entire article or parts of the article that is beneficial to you. One paragraph is not an article. I would suggest also when copying the article, eliminate those advertisements that you normally see. Those are irrelevant. Barrett and Hyman, in their article, describe the distasteful nature of corruption at its very core. Now, the second sentence, which is highlighted in red, it basically is letting you know what I know or didn't know about the topic. Though I have always been aware that corruption exists in the Jamaican education system, it was mind-boggling for me that the education minister would be involved in such gospel behavior. Clearly, I have now stated, what I know or did not know about the topic before I read. Basically, this did not teach me a whole lot about my subtopic because I was clearly aware that corruption exists, but the piece still impacted me. It was mind-boggling for me. I was confused as to how an education minister could be caught with his hand in the cookie jar. And my final sentences talks about what I've learned, how it impacted me, what are my thoughts, what are my plans going forward. Now, the final piece is a poem. This poem is not cited. There is no, I have not cited my source because the source is actually me. I wrote this poem just for this particular piece. It is entitled Pay to Get My Daughter a College Degree. Please ignore my patois. Please ignore my Creole. I am not the best Creole writer. In this particular one, we are going to be summarizing the artifact. We will not be describing. We're going to be stating how it made us feel before we read it, and we're going to be stating how it made us feel after we read it, what we learned, and its impact on us. So this is what it looks like. Now, of course, it is color-coded again. The poem entitled Pay to Get My Daughter a College Degree by Octavius makes it clear that corruption exists within the Jamaican educational system. The title, as well as the phrase, grease the principal palm, my boss son dunce with a capital D, a work as a doctor, among others, suggests that nepotism is an acceptable norm in society. The notion presented is that the rich can get favors if they can provide financial support to these school leaders. Now, all of that is me summarizing what the artifact is about. Then I'm now going to state what I know. Now, the truth is that sometimes the artifact didn't teach you anything, and that's the truth. And that's because you have personal experiences and prior knowledge. And so when you read the piece or examined the piece or listened to the piece, there was nothing new taught, but it did help with your subtopic. So the sentence for this one is pretty short because, as I stated, this piece not only solidified my sub-theme, that's all it did, but it also exposed the heart-wrenching truth that we must face. Now, the final sentence is, it basically tells how I feel, how it impacted me, what I've learned. After reading this piece, I am more understanding why many poor parents feel so disheartened because they are continually robbed of the chance to enjoy the benefits of their child's success, as this is oftentimes given to another under this guise. This, though not my reality, has caused me to wonder, where in my past was I robbed of my child? And this is a good thing to think about. While you did not learn anything, it made you really reflect on your past and where you might have seen corruption. So this is what your final piece should look like. Notice that I have 3 clearly created paragraphs. Your first paragraph is for one artifact. Your second paragraph is for your second artifact. Your third paragraph is for your third artifact. This is what your reflection 1 should look like. There are a few things that I want you to remember when you have finished your reflection 1. 1. Remember that you must have 3 clearly written paragraphs. 2, do not exceed the word count. And even if you do, make sure that your reflection 1 is on 1 page. However, try to work with the word limits given. Remember to indent to show paragraphing. This is a part of the structure of your work. Remember to check over your own grammar, punctuation, sentence structure. This should not be your teacher's work because remember, you cannot have your SBAs being sent up laced with these errors. You can mention the title, author's name, and genre of the pieces that you have used based on how you are beginning your different paragraphs. Always remember to underline all novels, titles of all novels, extracts of these novels, articles, titles of songs, etc. should be underlined. And you are going to be putting the titles of poems in italics or in inverted quotation marks. Also remember that any quotation taken from these pieces should also be in italics and in inverted quotations. Remember to double check your word count. Type your reflection in Times New Roman, font size 12, double line spacing. And remember, correctly label or name your reflections. With that being said, I am going to remind you again as to why you should get a copy of the English Language Student's Guide for your SBA. Now, it offers detailed step-by-step guide, just like how I'm giving you in the video. The only difference is the book is more detailed than the videos themselves. It goes in depth. It gives you various themes that you might find interesting. Believe me, they are interesting. You are going to see details on how to complete every single section in the SBA, paragraph by paragraph, sentence by sentence. It's almost as if you have been spoon-fed. You're going to see examples and illustrations, both examples and picture illustrations of what to do, what it should look like, how it should be. You're going to see analysis of these artifacts being done, just like was seen in the video. These in the book are even more detailed. You are also going to see samples of your reflection 2, which is coming up soon in another video, as well as the written report, but the book offers a more detailed explanation as well as sample SBAs. There is also a sample checklist that is there, as well as a sample SBA. It is the best SBA book on the market currently. This can be found on all Amazon platform for $3.99 for the ebook. So if you don't want to get a hard copy of the book, you can get an ebook which will be on your phone, and that's for $3.99. That is relatively cheap. Or you can get a hard copy for $9 basically. So if you have any questions, you can reach out to me or you can leave a comment under this video. Until then, do not forget to like this video. I know y'all love it. I mean, no one love it. So please like the video. Do not forget to leave a comment. Listen, don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe. Don't forget, and hit that notification bell so that you can be informed when I post new videos. Share the videos with your classmates. Share them with your colleagues. I know that there are students who are struggling. They are pressured to complete the SBA. And listen, I know how to let you get the grade 1. I've been doing it from my eye was at my knee. So subscribe to my channel, share the video, and until then, bye.